disclosed that it was his impression that Wisconsin was kind of particularly Milwaukee, was kind of the Harvard of human trafficking. And it's an awkward metaphor, but it's a comparison that people are coming here to learn how to do it. We're exporting the skills.
It is a hub, 100%. It actually has been, by the FBI, is pretty much coined the biggest starting area for a pimp, not only in the Midwest, but the United States. So we have guerrilla pimps and Romeo pimps. Guerrilla pimp being the fearmonger who is going to either assault their ladies or strike so much fear in their heart that their family is going to be hurt that they have to stay there. They know no other way. They're feeding them with dope, whether it be heroin, meth, coke, crack, where they have no other option. They can't go back home because they're a runaway, or their parents, they don't know where their parents are, or whatever family dynamic. So this guy is their only way out, and if they leave, they're going to get beat up, hurt, but they're also going to get dope sick, because now where are they going to get their dope from? The other one is the lover boy type that's going to buy them gifts, shoes, clothes, jewelry, but obviously in return, you're going to have to sleep with other males, and that's your payment, is, hey, listen, he charged you $200, here's $20, go buy some food. Oh, and what do you want the new Jordans? Okay, I'll get that for you too. So there's two different types, and we see it's a mix really, and they can jump back and forth. A lot of them start off as their boyfriend, girlfriend, quote unquote, and next thing you know, they've turned into a victim. And I mean, they're victims still, but they've turned into a worse victim, because now they're getting beaten, abused, sexually assaulted, raped, different things over on this side. But can also flip back too, is if they behave correctly or do the right things, now they've become the bottom or the girlfriend, if you will, of that pimp.
Hearing conversations from former pimps who are now incarcerated, and them giving interviews to the detectives that arrested them as a part of their plea deal, and hearing basically how they recruit and what they look for and how they can pick out the insecurities in someone. Other stories of how these they pose as boyfriends basically, and young people who are in high schools, sometimes as boys, sometimes as girls, who are in schools, and their job is to get to befriend people, learn their different vulnerabilities, and see how they can be exploited.
The vulnerabilities have changed. I think traditionally, talking about trafficking, it was okay, you're a runaway from a major city, and this is where the demand is. And now I live in rural Wisconsin, and I feel like I'm never gonna get out of my little town, and my family doesn't have a lot of money, and all of a sudden, I find a boyfriend on Facebook, and he's rich, and he lives in Milwaukee, or he lives in Green Bay or Eau Claire, and he's gonna, take me away for the weekend, and next thing you know, she's not even in the state, or she's in Milwaukee.
The internet is obviously one of those locations that is very difficult for us to track, and it's one of those locations that the bad guys know it's difficult for us to track. So they're going out and they're soliciting their victims there. And they do use sweet talk, and they're con men. And I say men, it could certainly be women as well. But those are difficult for us to track. Traffickers use social media to recruit girls, and so sometimes they pose as different people. It's easier you can see different pictures and so forth. You have conversations that no one else really has to see, and so it's another way to access people. And a lot of young people, they often friend people or accept friend requests from people they have no idea, right? If you have this massive friend number on your social media, more and more followers, the cooler you are. And so that's a huge vulnerability right there.
I think one of the biggest barriers as a parent, and I include myself in on this, is that we didn't grow up with this technology, so we are ignorant to the dangers of it. So we know now, as in our age group, we're using it to put stuff out there and connect with friends and show pictures, and we know how we're using it, and we know that there can be we hear about the bullying and we hear about stuff, but we do not understand the depth and the dangers. Even though we hear it, even though maybe we share that information, but until you see it yourself, how dangerous it is and how vulnerable kids make themselves on their social media accounts, they basically make it as easy as it can possibly be for a predator to lure them in and to groom them, because they give them all the information they need about themselves, all their desires, all their wants, and they put it all out there on social media.
Traffickers prey on people who are vulnerable, and they're remarkably good at hooking people quickly. And they oftentimes the victim is led to believe that this is their boyfriend, or at the very least a friend, and before long they find out that they've been trapped.
The internet is huge. We've run operations where pimps have actually contacted us, not knowing obviously it's us, but contacting the girls and saying, hey, come and work for me, kind of thing. When we ran an operation earlier this year, we arrested a pimp's girl, and he immediately started hitting everybody up, including 2 of our undercover officers and who are online, and said, hey, one of my girls got arrested. Can you help me out? Can you be with me? I'll give you, out of $200, I'll give you 150 of it, kind of thing. I need to make some money.